blood in the earth where the roans scream and clash. Savage as storm, we're the fire from the ash.
Chills the war cry, I shatter the cage. Fist to the sky, I'm igniting the rage. Summits my forge, I summon the horde. Savages march, draw your blade, strike the chord. Gather, scream, we're the storm, no retreat. Savages rise, feel the ground shake beneath. Nate the Celt with the ancients' war drum. Blood of the clans, I call you to come. Axes held high, through the mist we collide. Summits the battle where the fearless abide. Gather, scream, we're the storm, no retreat. Savages rise, feel the ground shake beneath. Flash Martin, Goat Man, I'm the spark in the fray. Rogue of the wild, I'm carving the way. No chains, no fear, I summon the pack. Summits our war, there's no turning back. Mighty Mouse, I'm small but I crush. Voice like a hammer, I'm sparking the rush. Sith, broken Jedi, I roar through the strife. Summits our blade, we're cutting through life. Gather, clash, savages storm the path. Rise, fight, we own the endless night. Chills, Nate, Flash, Matt, Sith we call. Savages unite, we'll never fall. Summits the fire, the war that we wage. Storm through the dark, we're breaking the cage. Clocks summons the savages through Valhalla's gates. We charge! We charge! We charge!
Gather round, the summit roars on. Through blood and ruin, our war carries on.
What is up, people? Tonight, we ain't doing a show. We're going to BS for a few minutes, but these guys are tired. Nate had to work late. Matt had to double out. Flash had a long discussion with his farm animals. And as you can tell, I'm sick as a dog. I was up all night, freezing and sweating. So, and Sith, he's off in his own galaxy. We know how he is. So, with that being said, there's no topic set for tonight. It's just we're going to BS, free for all, and talk. And in about 15 minutes, it's probably going to end. But there's a very high chance that maybe I'm going to let everybody hear a song that hasn't been released yet. So, let me go ahead and...
Chill, Nate, Flash, Matt, Sith, call.
Okay, we got me, we got Matt, and Flash and Nate are here. They could hear us, they could see us. They don't have to have their cameras on tonight. So, first things first. Flash, you keep coming at me every day and you claim America can't do this compared to the UK. And everything you've come at me for, you've been proven wrong. The UK can make pies. Okay?
What?
There. You guys are good at making pies out of non-pie food. There you go.
No, we also are better at making food itself without the chemicals.
You guys like to make meat pies, dude. With intestines
Yeah.
and animals like frogs.
No, not with
They don't
frogs
use
at
the
all.
frog legs, they use the intestines.
No, we don't. We actually use the proper meat.
Is that what we're calling it
Right.
now? The proper meat. The proper meat.
Yep, that's what we're calling it.
But what about haggis?
That is Scottish, actually.
Yeah, but they're part of the Great Britain.
Well, yeah, but anyway, that is. If we're talking about Britain as itself, that is not part of Britain. That's Scotland.
But at least Scottish people could fight.
So can the British.
Okay. What if you insult their football team, but not if you insult their intentions or their intelligence?
Wait. Hold on.
Really?
This will get flash. Go Man U.
I'm actually a Man United supporter anyway, so whatever. Go for it.
Manchester United,
Yep.
Yep.
they're garbage.
Oh, what? You a Chelsea fan?
Nope.
What?
I like Peru. I don't even think they have a team, but I like them. No, I don't care for soccer at all.
Football.
Soccer.
Football.
Okay. Here we go.
American soccer, British football.
No, it's football because your foot goes on the ball, hence football, not soccer. You don't soccer the ball with your foot. No, it's football. It's football.
Shut up your brain. It's fucking soccer.
It's fucking soccer football.
Oh, yeah. You agreed. Shut up.
No,
Nope.
it's football, and football has been around longer than your football.
Nah, shut up.
So, no. No.
Okay.
No.
All right, yeah, we
The
laddies.
word football originates in medieval Europe, describing games played on foot, not horseback, involving a ball.
Yeah.
By the 19th century, England formalized association football, codified in 1863 by the Football Association. The term soccer actually comes from a slang from ASSOC, as in association, spelled backwards.
Yeah.
Used in England. Used in England. Used in England to distinguish football, or to distinguish it from rugby. So you guys cannot say, hey, we're going to change the word back because we're mentally unstable to figure that word out. You can't keep changing the language. America's case for the football. Let's go into theirs now. The U.S. counters that football as a fair term for their sport, rooted in its own history and cultural context. Historical claim. American football evolved from rugby and early football games brought over by the British. So once again, rugby.
You call it
Rugby would be the proper thing as football. Now, if you were arguing that rugby should be called football and not American football, there's more of an argument there, but not soccer. Absolutely not soccer.
No, soccer is not called soccer. It's football.
Soccer was it actually came from the slang for association used in England to distinguish it from rugby football.
You do know rugby
I'm reading it to you directly from the fact check itself, and you're still arguing with me.
No, what I'm saying is you do know rugby does have a ball.
Nah, really?
American football comes from rugby football. That's where the sport comes from in America. Rugby football. You guys called soccer because you couldn't figure out how to call rugby until 100 years later or something.
Well, I'm not checked the facts up, but as far as I know of, soccer is basically what you would call football in England.
No, I have never
And
heard American football as referred to soccer. I've heard it called an Americanized version of rugby by numerous different people from around the world. Never once have I heard it called soccer. I have heard soccer called soccer. The
well,
World Soccer
the way
Association.
you would put it, the way you would put it is soccer is football in British terms, and that's how it is. And rugby is rugby. It's basically your form of what would be football, I'm guessing, in America.
No, we do actually have rugby too here in America.
It is. Oh, yeah. No, I'm
Yeah,
talking
we
about
have
ones without the padding, the girly paddings.
no. I'm talking about we have regular football and we do have rugby. We have both of them.
And we have soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have soccer. And we have
Well, I don't,
baseball while you have cricket.
no, we do a baseball here as well, but it's just not. We don't play it as often as
They
like
don't
you
know
used
how
to
to
in
play
America.
it.
It's more cricket, like you said.
They have to have twice as many players on a field to catch the ball. It's not giant like the soccer ball.
Actually, I would say, you know, yeah, yeah, you're right on that one. Actually, I don't. But anyway, the thing is, as far as I know of, and like I said, is I thought your football would be our rugby.
Listen.
Thought that's
AI.
what it
I
is.
just asked AI, and AI says discussions fuel. Here's the discussion that fuels. England, they codified the words biggest sport and have a global linguistic support. But are they just gatekeeping a standardized word? Because the word itself is a standardized word. Okay, America adapted football to a unique style and sport of rugby that's a cultural titan. But it's too, it needs to be a redefined term to the rest of the world because they use it differently. Hot take, neither owns football. English has the real fight is the English ego in their history, and America's got balls. Why not let both have the sport and move on?
Well, yeah, they do have the point.
Hey, Flash, if you
What?
ever come over to America, I'm gonna treat you to a nice dinner of bangers and mash with spotted dick for dessert.
Now you're trying to get him to buy a plane ticket because he thinks you're talking about a person.
No, I know what a spotted dick is, you dillo. It's a pudding.
Watch your language.
Uh,
The pudding thing is
anyway,
fine, but the word after that, we are live.
oh,
Uh,
anyway, I do apologize. Like I say, but spotted thingy is basically like a pudding. It's
it's a
like a
pudding with
sponge.
like dried fruit in it.
Yeah, it's like got raisins and stuff inside of it. Quite nice actually. How about it?
I've always wanted to try it because it's not a creamy pudding like we have here in America. You know, regular
No,
pudding.
no, it's not definitely not creamy at all. It's got more.
Ow.
I had burn
It's like
blisters.
a
My hand didn't realize how
bittery
much I dropped them both.
Oh, yeah, I had that happen.
I said berry taste. It's more like a sweety, bittery taste to it. It's actually quite nice. You can put it with custard.
Hey, Flash, I'm offline. I'm going to need you to give me your address so I could send this to you.
With what?
It's called the True Football Starter Kit. Inside it includes an American mini football, a tiny NFL jersey, and for teams of Pittsburgh Steelers, the Jets, or the Patriots. And a little note that says, "Welcome to real football. Less flopping and more tackling."
Mm.
Oh, you made me laugh, Jules. Hmm.
Oh, dude, I could troll you so bad though. It would be funny.
The only difference between me and you is you use your computer to verify everything, and I can't argue with that one. But when it comes to like, say, what is it? Do you call it rugby, where they use padding to run around and stuff like that?
Are you talking
No, that's
about
regular
American
football.
football where they're smacking into each other?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Now
That's
wait,
there
let me
football.
was.
stop you. Let me stop you. Let me stop you. Because the huge difference between rugby and American football is whenever you have American football players, they are colliding. They're not hitting
Yes. Well.
high. They're not hitting high like in rugby because of the sticks. Okay? No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no. Some of these men run 50 yards and dive through people. Now, I'm not the biggest football fan in general because of all the stupid ass politics they always want to inject. But there
You
is a
do know that.
significant difference between rugby and American football,
Mhm.
but you could see where one came from the other. But
Oh yeah, you can
you
see
can't
that.
downgrade one or the other. Rugby, yes, they hit hard. Don't get me wrong. But have you
I,
ever seen people
I would
get
say.
paralyzed?
Yeah, but the thing is, they also do the same in rugby. They launch each other at each other, like you just said, from yards away. And but the difference is that in our rugby, they don't actually have padding to thingy, so they're more likely to get broken bones.
Hold on.
And actually, the one of the NFL people, which I've been watching, and not just on telly, but on the internet and other things like that, were saying apparently the rugby that we have is a little bit more brutal because they don't have the padding like they do in America. They said yours is exhausting because of the heat. You don't lose the heat because of the padding, but
Okay,
the actual
hold on.
rugby is a little bit more brutal.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Rugby concussions are the major issue. Okay?
Hmm.
That's headshots.
Yeah, no.
Okay. And American football does what?
Well, use will get concussions, but breaking bones in, I would say, you wearing pads, you're less likely to break bones.
Nah, it happens quite frequently.
Flash, there's
How?
almost no
You wear pads.
comparison between injuries with exception of uh, the concussions. CTE. 1/3 of concussions do not make it to injury reports in football's helmet use leads to head first tackling increased concussion risks. In other words, they are trying to stop people, even with the helmets on, from headbutting each other.
Oh yeah, I know. You do know it still happens in England, though. That's what I'm trying to point out. But they do it without the fucking helmets.
No, you're not understanding, Flash. Hold on. Rugby gets less injuries overall. They just get more concussions. Rugby players
Oh,
get more concussions. They have a 15.2% out of every 1,000 players to get a concussion. American football has a 4.9 injury rate, overall injury rate.
How does that one work out? Because you're wearing padding. The mathematics don't make sense.
Because
I don't
the
get how that works.
padding doesn't stop
Okay.
spinal injuries.
Spinal, leg, arm. You
Yeah,
pads
I
are
don't say
shoulder
The
that.
pads.
shoulders is the
Shoulder pads
pads,
and a
dude. What
helmet.
is the shoulder pads are only to protect the person doing the hitting. Like, just call it what it is. That's the person doing the hitting being protected by what he's wearing. And that is not there to protect other players.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, when you're saying about launching yourself at first,
American footballers take significantly harder hits, which lead to more severe injuries like CTE and permanent spinal damage from high-speed collisions enabled by their gear. Rugby wins
yeah, well,
for the concussion frequency that is intensified. Both are brutal sports. But if rugby got solid helmets, American football would take the permanent lead in injuries.
I don't know that about that.
And Flash, just for you, AI wrote a little note. Tell your Englishman friend rugby's just soccer with more concussions and no pads to save your fragile ego. American football hits harder, but you lot break more. Call it a draw, but your football still ain't ours. Look, it legit said every bit that I just read to him.
Yeah.
Flash, it's legit talking crap to you now.
Yeah, it is. But the thing is, I do kind of agree, but I still don't understand how you could say you use hit harder when you've got padding. When if you've got no
How
padding,
big is the
surely it's
rugby
going to hit
field?
harder when you've got no padding.
No, because unfortunately, the padding, people use the quote unquote pads when they're hitting and blowing out kneecaps and everything else.
Yeah, that's all right. And then let me answer this question then, right? If you're wearing padding, surely the pads will weigh some weight, right? Which is going to slow your speed down, yeah? Ergo, your speed is not going to be as high intense as someone who's not got the padding on.
End zones.
Ergo, you're going to be able to
No,
launch yourself better.
ergo, that's why most of them train with their padding on so they can get quicker with the added weight.
Wait a minute.
That's like looking at somebody in the military and going,
Hey, Flash.
if you carry all that stuff and ruck, you're gonna move slower. No,
Hey,
they
Flash.
carry all that stuff.
I got a serious question for you. What's the maximum limit
Well,
they could run at each other one person can run at another person in rugby?
I don't know. Depending on the person, really,
American
it
football
could
can
vary.
go up to 120 yards of the fixed length of the field. That's both end zones where they can hit into each other. Rugby is 70 maximum. Even though your fields are bigger. I don't know.
Play for longer.
Listen, I don't know how rugby is played. Let's make this very clear. I'm reading what I'm reading right now. And it's saying rugby has bigger fields, but they're not allowed to have as long a run. So you must have I guess there's players that can play at a certain part that can't go further or can't go to a certain point or something. I don't know.
Well, with rugby, they can run the whole yard if they want to, but the idea with it is you throw the ball to the next person, but you've got to keep doing it like more often than you would doing yours.
Okay, now just
That's the only difference.
Just imagine one guy with the rugby ball trying to run to the end zone at the other end of the field, and there's one guy down there, and he comes running up and smears that guy. Welcome to American football.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That does happen in rugby as well.
Not very often because there's a limit on the length that you can go. I'm reading it right here.
I don't know. Like say,
in football,
but I do know.
Let's make that clear. Also, by 10 minutes, football's longer.
Why? How long do yours run
90
for?
minutes, and you guys are 80 minutes.
I was going to ask you, but our main football, our actual proper football, or what you would call soccer, runs for 90 minutes, but then there's the early time as well of injury time. But soccer and or in soccer terms, I would say that's more of a girly sport than actually rugby.
Shit's just popping up and playing all of a sudden on YouTube in my damn browser. Okay. I think we're good. Okay, so should I let people hear something? What do you guys think? Should I play it, or should we end the stream? Which one should I play, Matt? I'm not playing the one I made yesterday. That will get us all in trouble.
It don't matter.
The harder one,
Yeah, definitely.
or the easier one?
Harder.
This is the easier one.
Dirt roads choke on lies.
Or
Screen.
I think this is good.
Blood on the dirt. Screen spit lies. Truth's a corpse under black
Sometimes
skies. We're clawing through a world gone mad. Hearts torn raw, no peace to be had. TikTok's a sewer, hate's a tidal wave. Live streams rip flesh, no soul to save. Words like shrapnel, blasting through the core. Algorithms chain us, fueling this damn war. No mercy, no light, just a digital grave. From back roads to ghettos, we're all enslaved. They pit us like wolves, tearing kin apart.
Shouldn't look those
Burning
things
down
up when
our
you're laughing.
souls, crushing every heart. Anti-human agenda, grinding us to ash. Lies
Ain't
rip
these
the
the
soul
truth?
till it's bleeding black. Black men broken for Hollywood sneer. White men damned by media smear. Class war cloaked in racist screams. Truth's a corpse in their sick regime. Slaves to their hell. Will we wake before we start to fade?
This will be the song that we end the stream on.
Hollywood's a butcher. Black pride's their kill. Dresses forced on kings, breaking their will. Pimp for laughs while elites suck blood. Truth's a ghost drowned in the flood. Media's jackals, hunting white men down. Facts burned to cinders, lies crown the town. Class war's the blade, slicing through the dark. Racism's a veil for greed's vicious spark. Anti-human agenda, grinding us to ash. Lies rip the soul till it's bleeding black. Black men broken for Hollywood sneer. White men damned by media smear. Class war cloaked in racist screams. Truth's a corpse in their sick regime. Slaves to their hell. Will we wake before we start to fade?
I'm pausing there. If you guys want to see more, you'll have to wait until it's up. Just because I'm doing that one. Anyway, Flash, do we have any other discussions you would like to get into?
Not off the top of my head, I
It's
can't
like-
think of anything.
Anytime you could try to think of anything to argue, you try to argue it. But it fails.
Because in the day, I am with a lot of Americans, so I'm kind of outnumbered. Whatever I say, you're just gonna shoot it down anyway. So, if there were more British people, then yeah, I'd think of other things. But I can't be bothered.
But Flash, I gave you credit where it's due. You guys make pies that have non-pie filling.
Yes, but we also do other things better.
What, make
Like I
fish
said,
and
you make a
chips?
good tea.
Fish and
No,
chips?
apart from that, we also make better engines.
Rolls Royce engines. Okay, yeah. Hey, don't get me wrong. They're good engines. But can they produce like American engines? Can that Rolls Royce engine
Yeah.
touch a hair on a Hellcat's ass?
Did you know one of the first planes had the Rolls
I'm not
Royce
even
engine
talking
in
the
it?
red eye. Can
That's
a
what I'm
Rolls
doing.
Royce touch a hair on the ass of a Hellcat when it comes to speed? Or let's go into Tesla. Do you have a car in England that could beat a Tesla in the 60 whatever, 60 meters or whatever?
Miles.
No, it's like 2 seconds to 60 meters or some, what is it? Quarter mile in 2 seconds.
I don't know,
I
to be
don't
honest
think you
with
guys do unless it's Tesla. But the thing that I'm trying to tell you is, yeah, you guys might not have current inventions, or you might have inventions that we don't have. None of that matters because we all got idiots that's just trying to completely crumble our country. I warned you years ago, and now everything I told you happened, and everything that I kept telling you you should do, you are finally saying, "Hey, I'm going to vote for this person. I'm going to do this thing." It's like, hey, I told
you.
you years ago when I was looking at your politics to do that.
Yeah, well, yeah, right on that. But like I say, most of the companies we had, our government have sold out to other countries. Ergo, we don't make our own stuff now like we used to.
I don't take medication in any way, shape, or form, but I'm actually taking Dayquil to be able to do this stream. But I think it's time for us to end this stream because I want to go lay down. I was up all night. Huh, Matt?
Yeah.
He was in the kitchen making coffee. I heard a spoon and went out there and scared him. It was like he feared for God.
Yeah, because I tried to be really quiet and then fuck, spoon fell.
Like, oh no, I'm busted. But all right, with that being said, we will see you next week at the normal time with the normal podcast. I'm sure I'll feel better by then. I'm sure Sith might come out the hole. Nate, he made it as he said, but he just got off of work. Matt, he's doubling out because he got the greatest job in the world where they play with his hours and troll him because I shouldn't even say it because it could get back and get you in trouble. Pigmentation shouldn't have nothing to do with a job, though. Let's make that clear. Okay, with that being said, you people stay savage. Have a great night. And I was planning on doing reactions actually last night, but then I went to bed at like 7:30 trying to go to sleep, but it didn't work. So until I feel better, stay savage.